but this one asks you for something, you're going to go out of your way to get that one what that one wants. And that other one, them other ones might come up short. You might have an excuse for them. But when somebody asks you, do you favor any of your kids other than no, I love all man just the same. You know you're lying. You know you're lying. Because they got different personalities. A lot of them got your personality. Them be the ones you can't stand. They're the ones that did all the stuff that you did. You know what I mean? And what makes it so articulate and funny that you can see through it, because you be like, I used to pull the same stuff. This same thing you doing, you ain't fooling me. And they think they fooling you. Just like you thought you was fooling your mama back when you was coming up, and they knew what you was doing, and knew you was lying, knew you was telling the story just by your reaction, because your mama and your daddy, they study you. They know your reaction, and they know when you out of character. They know something's up, And then because, the things that you didn't get away with, that your parents found out about you, gave you a little bit of wisdom when you grew up and became a parent. You was able to see through some of that stuff your kids trying to pull on you. Same thing when Adam sinned. God already knew what he was up to, but all God wanted him to do was come clean. Now, how many of you would have more mercy on your kid if you caught him in something and they just came clean? Huh? If they just came clean and say, I'm sorry, I messed up, I made a mistake. Huh? But when they try to lie about it and cover it up, and don't it disgust you? Amen. But when you just come clean and say, you know what, I made a mistake, and I'm sorry. You know what, I'm gonna try not to do that no more. You have better respect for them. You have more. You're liable to just grab them and say, you know what, it's gonna be all right. But when they want to try to go around it, you might want to crack them upside the head. Amen. But this is how we're able to have discernment in things, because we have some experience in things. And when we begin to really trust God, God will begin to open our eyes to some things. God will begin to direct your path. Even though you might go through some stuff now. Joseph went from being favored and having a coat of many colors to thrown in the pit, in the hole, and sold for 30 pieces of silver, because that was the price of a slave. Just like Jesus was sold out for 30 pieces of silver. And we see how he went from the hole that his brothers put him in and sold him, and then he was sold to another slave trader and worked in the fields and then gone to jail. But God was grooming him. Did he stop trusting God? He never stopped trusting God. And through all that, now I can imagine most of us black folk would be complaining like you couldn't imagine. Every little thing that happened. Do you realize that God allowed Satan to test Job? Because he wanted to see what Job was going to do. He said, I know my man. I know what he's going to do. And do you realize because of the testing, on the other end of the testing, was a double-fold blessing? Do you see that the testing that Joseph went through, on the other side he became ruler? Do you see the blessing that came behind the testing? So when we're going through the storm, going through the testing, and we still trust God through it all, there's going to be a great reward on the end of it. Can you see Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego being tested? King Nebuchadnezzar saying, if you don't bow down and worship the golden idol that I have created, then you're going to be cast into the fiery furnace. They said, even if the God we serve would not save us, we're still not going to bow down, because they were trusting in God. He says, we'll turn the fire up 7 times and throw them in there. The guard who turned the fire up 7 times, when he opened the door, he was concerned. They threw them in there and they didn't get burned because they trusted. Wow, can you see how they did not get in fear, but they stayed in faith? Because fear would have made you say, okay, where the idol at? There's coming a time like that in the very near future when they're going to be beheading people in public squares and public places because they refuse to take the mark of the beast. And there are going to be some people selling out because of the fear. You got to understand that fear is the biggest faith killer. And over in Hebrews it says, without faith it is impossible to please God. The Bible also says anything other than faith is sin. Amen. Did y'all get something out of this? Give God a big hand clap when you see.